quite honest with you, I think we were average at best against Florida State. I thought since then, we played pretty damn good. Now, you have to understand something, too. When you're playing option teams or you're playing teams that do certain things, there's other things that we're asking the ends to do. Pass rush isn't one of them. Even in the Duke game, you know, we want those guys to collision guys and free the backers up and do the things that you have to do. Knowing that we didn't stop them, all right, but we should have. But I think they really played good, particularly the last 2 weeks. You never get enough production out of your ends. No matter what you get, you should never be happy with it because it could always be a little bit better. But I think we're headed in the right direction.
Tyrone seems to be headed in the right direction until he played pretty well against Tech. He's out. Or you're in it.
Yeah, I'm the end. But he did. Let me say this to you. He played good the last two games. He played good against Virginia, and I thought he did a nice job against Tech, though. I thought he did.
Has Juan Price sort of started to really find a good niche in his defense?
Well, again, there's a lot of things we're asking him to do. We're asking him to play like he's a 260-pound end, and he's not. But that's the system that we're in. But I think, I always tell those guys there comes a point in football where you have to overcome coaching. And I believe that. We tell you, you got this guy, you got the dive, you got the quarterback, you got this, you got that. But a good player sees, and that's what Juan did against Tech. Juan closed hard, but he saw the ball handed off, and as a result, we gained him, when they were running that quarterback zone read stuff, we gained him in the alley when they were giving him the football. So I would tell you, yes, he's making strides. I personally don't think he's close to being where he needs to be at some point. And he just needs to understand that as a player. And that's something that he and I have constant conversations about. It's easy to be average. It's hard to be good. If you want to be good, you got to spend the extra time to be good. And I think he's headed in the right direction, but he's not where I want him to be yet.
Murphy's injury changed what you're able to do, but what's your sense of the rotation, how you kind of want to use those guys? Just ride the hot hand if a guy's playing well?
Well, right now I would tell you Murphy and Juan, I thought played very well. So I would tell you going into this football game, those are our two starters. Dave is better suited when you have a tight end or two tight ends in the game. He's more what I call a grinder, a banger, the physical part of it. The athletic part of it, I think Murphy and Juan handle much better. There's some other things that we're going to do in the game to try to get more speed off the edge and do some things to help our pass rush.
You starting to learn more about some of these guys now that you have a few games in and using guys in different spots, things like that?
Yeah, I think so, and I think that's a good way to put it. I am learning a little bit more about them and how they react to good and bad. I always tell them, if you can handle me in practice, you can handle anything in the game. And I believe that. And I think they're getting to the point where they're starting to believe that. So I think we're making progress. We're not near where we want to be, but I surely hope we'll get where we want to be fast.
Do you think Juan has the ability, the potential to be a good pass rusher, one of these days?
No, I think he does have the ability. I would definitely say he has the ability to be a good pass rusher, and he has rushed the passer the last 2 games a lot better. And you guys have to understand something. Being a good pass rusher doesn't always show up in statistics as far as sacks go. And I just give you an example. When I was with the Redskins, we were 4th in the league in defense, and we were like 27th or 26th in sacks. All right. The following year, they go out and spend all the money, and they bring Hainsworth in, and we ended up 10th in the league in sacks and 8th in the league in defense. So we got more sacks, but we got worse defensively. So there's more to it in the overall scheme than saying, okay, well, he doesn't have enough sacks. Some of the things we're doing with Juan gives AD a chance to get more one-on-ones. Some of the things we're doing with Murph gives AD a chance to get more one-on-ones. AD's an exceptional player, so he takes advantage of the opportunities that he gets. But will we be better? Yes. Can we be better? Yes. But again, I don't want anybody to think that all of a sudden you equate being a good pass rusher with sacks, because it's not true. If we can get them to step up in AD, we had a good pass rush.
Against Old Dominion this week, you sort of touched on the spread teams. Is this one of those weeks where the ends are going to sort of have a challenge on their hands in terms of?
This is a nightmare week, if you ask me. Because I will say this to you, and I believe this in the bottom of my heart, the quarterback is as good as any quarterback that we've played, including the guy from Florida State, as far as a pure quarterback. Now, he's not 6'5", and he doesn't weigh 250 pounds, and he doesn't run guys over, but he can sure run away from the rush. He can pull the ball down and run. I just got done watching the Maryland film. I think he had 70 or 80 yards rushing, just pulling the ball down and rushing against Maryland. And he's very smart, very intelligent. He knows where to go with the ball. So we've got to do a great job rushing the passer. We've got to do a great job getting in his face in order to give our secondary guys a chance to cover. Because they're good. I'm telling you, the receivers are good, the quarterback's good, the running backs are good. The offensive line is what they do is perfect for what they do. They do exactly what they're coached to do.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Okay.